Hi YouTube, I'm Aiman, and also joined by my dad's parrot, Romeo. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cook the Thai delicacy called Tom Yum. So cooking Tom Yum is fairly easy. Here are the ingredients. Some of them are optional, which means that some of them we won't use. However, we're going to go over the ingredients just a bit later, just to give you an idea. Some of them we're just going to take a bit out of and then wrap it back and then just put it in the fridge. So we won't use all of it. So if we take a step back here, you can see that we have this beautiful parrot right here. Her name is Romeo. Even though it's a she, my dad called her Romeo. I mean, Juliet would have been better, because, you know, Romeo, Juliet. As you see right here, she speaks. I mean, some of the other sounds in the background might be actual birds. But she has a specific sound. We're used to it. She's a Congo African Grey, and being a Congo means that she's a bit more aggressive than the other species. I can't remember. I think it's called tangy. But she's a bit more aggressive too. Being an African Grey Congo means that she really only likes one person, and that one person in her family is my dad. Although, I mean, everyone in her family has at least gotten bitten by the parrot at least once. I mean, except for my mom. She probably won't go near it, though. So let's get back to cooking, too. Alright, so let's get to the ingredients. So, talking about the main ones here, we have chicken here, squid here, and shrimp here. Shrimp, if you're not allergic to it, I recommend, because it gives it that unique taste. We keep these covered because we have cats and we don't want them to eat it. Going to the vegetables, we have chili paste. Chili paste is optional. We can also use real chili, which we're going to do later. We'll show you chili peppers, tomatoes, and kaffir lime. We don't have it right here now. We have onions. We have Napa cabbage, celery. This one is Chinese celery. Cauliflower, carrots, cilantro, lemongrass. And then we have sour substitutes. We have lime and tamarind. We like to use tamarind though. Then we have baby corn. We have two types though here. As for mushrooms, you can use any kind. You can use whole mushrooms, straw mushrooms, oyster or abalone mushrooms, or this one's Korean mushrooms. Very unique. You can also use as a side rice vermicelli, rice noodles, or you can actually just use rice itself. We're using rice noodles though. Finally, arguably the most important one is the Tom Yum paste. So here's what it looks like. This is Thai. You can also use the Tom Yum mix, but we're not going to open it. That's also Thai. And this is the Malaysian version. They're all different cultures, very unique. Also, you want your pots and pans. This is a 6-quart. You can tell what the capacity is by looking on the bottom, if you look closely. This one's a 12-quart. You also want your cooking utensils, like your spoons and your knives. And finally, your cookware, too. Some of the ingredients are easier to get in places like Malaysia, but if you're in the US, you might have to look in some Oriental stores like Chinese or Indian stores, especially this one. This is our kaffir lime. We've had it for 10 years. It's hard to get in the US. So we're gonna just take around 3 or 4 mature ones and put it in this bowl. We don't want to take too many because my mom isn't here and she might want to use them. However, for Tom Yum, kaffir lime is essential. So you want to take the darker ones. So put them in a bowl. Okay, so next we have the chili peppers. I mean, how many depends on how many people you're feeding. We only have around 4 people to feed, me, Zami, Amural, and my dad. So we only want to take around 3 red ones and 3 green ones. If you want it to be more spicier, then of course you can take more. Where are the scissors? I'll just pluck it. Right, so red ones first. 1, 2, 3. Then the green ones. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, on to the tomatoes. So you may have noticed I'm wearing gloves when picking the chili. That's important because if you pick chili and you forget to wash your hands and you touch certain parts of your body, such as your eye, yes, I was meaning the eye, it could lead to some nasty things. It's optional to use Italian parsley if you want, but we're not gonna use it. And finally, here are the tomatoes. Oh shoot, I dropped the chili. Doesn't matter, you can pick it up later. So, it looks like it hasn't been picked in a while since my mom's not here. So we're only gonna take the almost mature but not quite green. So we're gonna take the orangish ones, like this one. And here. Alright, so as you saw, I dropped it, so I'm just gonna pick 3 new ones. Since we couldn't find them on the ground. You probably don't want to use the ones on the ground either. So, should be quite simple. And then we need a red one. I think we're good. Oh, no, one more green one. This one's not quite. Alright, we have our chilies and our tomatoes. Let's go. Okay, so even if you grow your own vegetables, you make sure you want to wash them. See, you want to wash them so that you don't get any chemicals on them. We don't use pesticides, by the way, just making sure. Also, in our experience, we just came home from Stop and Shop with these onions, and ooh, it doesn't look like they're in great condition. And as you just saw, there was a fruit fly on that. Notice that in the summer, in Connecticut, there's been a lot of fruit flies, and I mean, you don't want these bad onions. So I mean, Stop and Shop, we always go to it, and usually it delivers some good products. But if you really want something fresh, then I suggest you go to Trader Joe's. Anyway, enough about the ingredients. I'm sure that as I'm cooking, you can gather what you need to gather. Okay, so first we're gonna take some sky juice, also known as water, and you're gonna take your 6-quart pot and pour it about 1/3 of the way. Yeah, I'll just keep filling it. You can always add water as you go cooking, so it's alright. Alright, so it looks about to be 1/3 full. Tom Yum, it lasts 2 to 3 days if you heat it every 6 to 8 hours, so it lasts a long time. Alright, next step, onions. You can cut them however you want. You can also use whatever type of onions you want. We use red and yellow, a combination. You can either use red, yellow, or a combination of them thereof. We like to cut them like this, chunky, because traditional Tom Yum has the onions cut chunky. Also, I think my dad's the only one in her family who actually likes onions, but it's alright. Alright, so first you want to turn on your burner and set it to low. Then you want to put your onions in. And then you want to put your chicken in. Be mindful of the spill too. Alright, so as for a chicken, you can cut it however you want. However, we cut it small. You also want to get the pieces with bone in them, not like breasts, because Tom Yum really has to get that bone flavor. Also, it's uncommon, but I have seen people put meat in it, so you can put meat in as well. but we just have it regular like this. Alright, so you can cook it covered or uncovered, but we have it at low, and the reason is so that we can turn our attention to the vegetables. It's good that we didn't prepare them ahead of time, so that it's more quicker. I mean, you can also prepare it in advance, but it's more quicker if you just have it laid out and ready. Just to clarify, I mean that it's not as time consuming, it's more efficient and better at time management. Alright, next, if you want to add this chili paste, or you call it oleg, then you should add it now so that it actually cooks. If it doesn't cook, you just want a spoonful. If it doesn't cook, then it's going to be doom for your stomach. So you want to add it now. Just a spoonful, and add it. Probably want to stir too. Alright, next up is the sarai, also known as lemongrass. So you want to cut it to about 4 inches wide. And next you want to take something that is able to like mash it, and then just smush it a bit. Not so that it breaks, just so that it's just a bit crushed. Alright, so you want to mash it a few times so that the flavor really gets out. And next we're going to turn our attention to carrots because they take a long time to cook. Oh no. Okay, so guys, I forgot to put the tom yum paste. You're actually supposed to do that before you put the chicken, but it's alright. It hasn't reached a boil yet. We're going to put half of it. It's not really a big deal because it's already kind of cooked. So let's see if I can eyeball if it's half. Just a bit more, and that looks like it. Then you want to stir it in. So talking about ingredients, the vegetables, we've already prepared them. We have the lemongrass here. We have the Korean mushrooms here. The whole mushrooms here. The tomatoes. The Napa cabbage. The cauliflower. And the carrots. Carrots, you can cut them however you want. You can cut them the long way, the circular way, or the oblong way, or any way you want. Alright, so next we have the celery. My dad actually doesn't want celery to be used in this tom yum because he thinks it should be more used in a soup, like a chicken soup. However, for the sake of the video, and sake of variety, also because we want as much colors as we want. We want the greens, we want the oranges, we want the reds, we want the whites. For variety, we want the celery as well. We also have cilantro, and I think it's called Chinese celery. This is Chinese celery. Cilantro is called cilantro in the US. The seeds of cilantro is actually called coriander. However, in the UK, our neighbor across the Atlantic, they're both called coriander. So this is actually called coriander in the UK, and the seeds of it are called coriander. It's a bit hard to understand because different countries, but hopefully it's alright. Next we have the baby corn. First you want to strain it, so you can use your hand or you can use a strainer, but hand's really more faster and less complicated. Next we have the straw and oyster mushroom too, also strained too. Alright, so once it reaches a boil, as you can see, it's bubbling. We're gonna add the lemongrass, then the daun poro or kaffir lime. Finally, the tamarind. As you can see, this one has seeds, so you're gonna want to strain that out. You can use your hands or a strainer. The one that we bought back there, it doesn't have seeds, but we use this one anyway. Alright, you know what? I'll just strain it using hand. Using a regular strainer might take a bit longer. And then you want to stir it after. Alright, because it's boiling, we're going to turn it to low. And then I'm going to take a tablespoon of salt. And I'm going to put in there and taste it. Alright, so make sure you don't double dip, like in my last video. It's not professional if you're cooking for many people. Then you want to take a spoon, dip it in there, and taste it. Wow, that's powerful. Really good. Alright, so it's definitely very flavorful. Alright, so after this, we're gonna add carrots and then cauliflower. Then you want to stir it, but like with all the other ones. If it overflows, I mean, we can just transfer it to the big pot with this big spoon, you know, for safety. And then wait for a few minutes before the other next ingredients. Alright, so we kind of forgot, but now we're going to add the squid. You don't want to add the squid too early, because if you cook squid, then it gets a bit hard. Next, you want to add the canned items, so corn. Okay. Be mindful of the splash. The mushrooms. More mushrooms. More variety, you know. Then you want to add your whole mushrooms, your Korean mushrooms, and your cilantro or coriander. Got the white. And your cilantro / coriander. Then your Napa cabbage. It seems to be more vegetable than water actually, so it's getting a bit harder to stir. Then you want to add your tomatoes last, and after your tomatoes, you want to add your shrimp. Alright, so one thing I forgot to add is chili. If you want it to be more spicy, you can just crush it, but since we already added the chili paste, I don't think that's something that we have to worry about. So we're just going to add this in for color. I mean, if you can't tolerate spiciness really well, then you don't need to add the chili paste or the chili. Okay, so it looks like the sky is getting a bit gray, and it looks like it's going to rain, so we're going to clean up. And then after we clean up, and after this boils, we're going to add the tomatoes and the shrimp. They're dead last. Alright, so it's at a boil right now, and after tasting it, we realized that we should add some more Tomyam paste. So, as I said before, you can always add to your own liking. Also said, it's really easy to cook Tomyam, and as we saw in this video, definitely is. So, next, we need to add the tomatoes. And finally, we need to add the shrimp. I'm gonna mix this in just a bit. And then, smells very good. You can eat it with many things like rice or vermicelli, but we won't do it in this video. We will do it in a future video, so I'd advise you to check that out in the future. I usually like to eat it with this, definitely. Alright. Delicious. Alright. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. And right here I'm going to have my brother Zami taste test it. Alright. Bon appetit. Delicious. Alright, thanks for being on the show, Zami. Alright, so let me try tasting it. Wow, that's an explosion of flavor. It looks like we have about everything here. We have the tomatoes, the baby corn, you have the cauliflower, etc. Although, I mean, some members of my family are very picky. I know Zami, he's picky. Oh, but me, I literally only eat the soup and the vermicelli. I don't even eat any of the vegetables, which might result in my short stature. But this is the end of the video, so I'm Aiman, And thanks for watching. Please like, rate, comment, subscribe, and look at other videos on EYeOnAiman, especially the cooking videos. And I will be doing a video on the vermicelli later. Now let's go say hi to Romeo. Or bye. I don't know if you caught it, but he just said hi, Romeo. And he's facing the wrong way, so. Alright, bye, Romeo.
Bye, Romeo.
And thanks for watching. Peace. You can see everything's cleaned up. Sorry if we were rushing on some steps and missed some steps. It's because it looks like the weather is weird today. It was hot a bit of the time, and it looks like it's gonna be downcast. And yesterday we had a solar eclipse, so I don't know, maybe it affects it. But it's also windy, so also affected it. So I hope it didn't really alter the dish, but if it did, I'm just gonna link down in the description below, or right in the description below, the correct steps. Alright? See ya.